Welcome to Times Past, a program dedicated to preserving the thoughts and experiences of members of our community. Times Past guest tonight is Mr. William Shailor of Wenham, Massachusetts. He's presently the chairman of the Wenham Selectmen. Mr. Shailor, it certainly is a pleasure having you on Times Past, and I want to thank you for agreeing to do a program with us.
Thank you, Bill, for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Well, where did you spend your childhood?
Well, it started off at 522 East 84th Street in Manhattan, New York, which is just up the street from Gracie Mansion, where the mayor of New York resides, even to this day. And from that point, we went out on to Long Island and lived there until I went into the service.
Did you own the home there, your parents?
We owned a home out in Belmore, Long Island, yes.
What were your parents' names?
My dad's name was William Sr., and my mother's name was Salome Vreeland. That's a Dutch name.
Dutch?
Dutch.
Oh, I see. Well, your family has deep roots in this country, don't they?
They do, Bill.
How far back do they go?
Well, we've traced them in the United States back to Haddam, Connecticut. And in 1690, Thomas Shailor took off with, as they said in those days, one of 26 men, good and true, came over and founded Haddam, Connecticut. He was lost at sea sometime, the records say 1706, 1707. There's a parish today, and it's on the map of Haddam that is named Shailorville. And that's the route.
Well, you take some pride in that, I'm sure.
Oh, I do.
Right. You also have some Viking blood that runs through the Shailor family, don't you?
Well, yeah, I learned that not too long ago, honestly, Bill. Found out in conversation that my mother's maiden name, Vreeland, translates into Freeland. And then that brought on the question, did I know where the Frisian Islands were? And I didn't. And it turns out that they're off the coast of Denmark. So what took place was the Norsemen came out of the north onto the continent, killed the men, raped the women, and dragged them back to the Frisian Islands and settled. And I think by looking in my eyes, you can see how true blue they are. And that's prevailed through all the children.
Uh-huh. Hey, you enjoy keeping things and records of your family, don't you?
I do, very much.
You have substantiated a lot of the ancestors from way back?
No question, Bill, yes.
Do you have, photographs of them or paintings of them, too?
No, I have some photographs of back to my grandparents, but back beyond that, no.
Yeah, I think you could probably only go to about 1830 anyways, and then you'd have to go to paintings further back.
I would guess,
But
yes.
Did you have any paintings,
No.
miniatures survive in your family?
No. I mean, they're probably around. There was a family Bible, and somewhere along the line that got out of our hands. But I was passed on to me to be kept, and then when I went off to do my duty, as they say, and came back, it somehow got mislaid. I would like it to turn up someday.
Okay. Your parents were married quite some time ago. Do you remember the approximate
Sure.
date? I think you even have some documentation on that.
Yeah, my dad and mother got married on the 1st of January, 1921.
Oh, that's quite some time back.
Yeah, Park Avenue in New York, yeah.
And weren't they married in one of the big churches in...
Well, that was me.
That was you.
Right, yeah.
So what church was that?
Patty and I were married in St. Patrick's.
That must have been quite an experience, huh?
It was. There's a chapel behind the main altar known as the Lady Chapel. And as fortune would have it, after we'd been pronounced man and wife, the bells, the chimes started going, but they were tolling noon. They weren't.
We thought they were for you.
We thought they were for us, right.
Well, it was nice. Oh, even so.
Nice note.
Well, how many children did your parents have, brothers and sisters?
My dad had a brother and a sister. My mother had four brothers, and that was it.
Uh-huh. And you have How many brothers and sisters?
I have,
All
let's
together.
see, there's a brother and two sisters.
And do they live in this part of the country?
My brother, he's one of those that decided to go to Florida for the sun.
Oh.
He'll be up this month, in fact, to visit. I have another sister who's presently living in Illinois, but on her way to North Carolina. Her husband just got transferred, and then my other sister passed away about a year ago.
And you were in the service of the United States, is that true?
That is true.
How long and in what branch?
Well, believe it or not, before I went into the United States service, I was a member of the New York State Guard as a private in 1940. That was before Pearl Harbor. But after Pearl Harbor, I joined as an apprentice seaman in the United States Coast Guard Reserve, and was fortunate enough to end up coming out as a lieutenant junior grade. So that was from 1942 to 1946, Bill.
You tried to get in some of the other services, didn't you, earlier, and your dad would kind of block you from that?
Well, no, I wouldn't put it that way. There was a point where I was considering going to West Point, and as the saying goes, I didn't cut the mustard. I passed the physical, but the mental test was a pretty stiff one. I recommend them, though. My grandmother always used to say, that'd be a good place to go, as we'd go up the Hudson River on the Hudson River Day line.
Yeah, it was something to see in those days. They still
sure.
do it? Still have those lines?
I honestly don't know, Bill.
I wonder.
That's
what we
that was a
look
treat.
for. See what still has remained in the times past episodes that we do.
Real treat.
Where did you travel? What opportunities did you get while you were in the service?
Well, I've been to Greenland. I've been to several ports in the United States. I ended up out in the Pacific, where I was at Ulithi and then Okinawa. And Okinawa was a hectic show, as anybody that's been out there would know. That's when the Japanese had come up with that kamikaze approach to...
Right. Were you involved in that?
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
And what ship were you on then?
I was on the Centaurus, which was an attack transport. We carried the 3rd Marines. And then actually what we had the LSTs. And so the amphibious landings of the Marines were done by the crews off our ship.
Right. And Okinawa was a fairly small island, right?
Well, as islands go, it was, I'd say, a moderately sized island. The thing that Okinawa came as kind of a surprise to us, meaning that we made the landing, and our boys were not met. It was about the 3rd day before the Japanese pulled their ambushes.
Yeah, if I remember, they let you, the soldiers, come onto the beach and then move inland and then caught them flat-footed.
Exactly.
But the Okinawa was bombarded for a number of days, I believe, ahead of time, and they didn't think anything could have lived under that bombardment, but the Japanese, I believe, were entrenched in bunkers with sand covering them. That's correct?
Yeah, and in the hills, they dug.
Right. It's same as Iwo Jima. They were dug into the mountainside.
Sure were.